You understand my point? You don't understand? See, for example, in your pocket, there is your wife placed a 10 rupee or 100 rupee, 500 rupee note in your pocket. That you didn't know. You just wore the shirt and now you are walking. Suddenly you put a hand in your pocket, you realize that you have 500 rupees, then you feel confident, oh, I have money. Okay? Now, don't you think before realizing that you had 500 rupees in your pocket, you are 500 rupees rich? You don't think that way, but you are. I think you understand. You forgot your purse, you wore your shirt, you are moving. And you felt, oh, I don't have money now. You are checking your pocket, suddenly you found 500, which your wife has deliberately placed. Now you realize that I am 500 rupees rich now I have money. But before you getting this confidence, don't you think that you already had 500 rupees? Though you had 500 rupees, you lived in insecurity. Now, what am I trying to tell you is, though you realize, though you don't realize, you are what you are, then why not start acting as if? No, we don't want to train ourselves in that. This is the fundamental system that I am also trying to, this is actually, people say this is the Western concept of acting as if, but I am saying that it is an absolute Indian concept. That is the reason why the Sanatana Dharma, all Vedas started saying, you are that, you are that, you are that, you are that, you are that. Even when we talk about air, we say, as I yesterday said, God is a governing operating body. And where does this governing operating system exist? Within you and outside you also. That is the reason why Lord Krishna said, I exist in you as the gastric fire, I exist in you as this, I exist in you as that, and I am this, I am that. He explained like that. Yes or no? He said, Aham Vaispanaro Bhutva Dehamam Pranamashrita. He said the way. So what he meant was, I am the one which is digesting food in you. So what is he trying to tell? I am the omnipotent, omnipresent phenomenon, wherever it is, wherever you cannot find a place without me. So it is already there within me, then why not act as if so that we reach faster? Our mind continuously tries to say us, you are a fool, you are still to go there, because it doesn't want to go there. Sincerely. Because it knows if it goes there, it is going to lose its own prominence and always be, it's like a husband and wife, The wife doesn't want to, be free and always want to lead, take charge. Example, I am not saying all wives are like that. Like husbands. Every husband wants to take charge on the wife. That is what I say, two beggars come together and they add more begging. Two beggars become big begging system. Same fashion, husband wants to take charge on the wife, charge or authority on the wife. The wife wants to take authority on the wife. Both try for authority. Finally, there is a huge void that creates between them and there is a disaster. In the same fashion, mind always tries to take charge and to experience. The trishna of experiencing is never ever satiated to the mind. Sincerely. So a true Adhyatmic sadhak, what does he have to do? A continuous process of praying his own mind. Oh mind, see, you're not going to get satisfied at any way. Now, oh mind, please, this is consciousness and that is the soul. I am inside. Now you please get there. As I go there, you also come, so that we three join and become the synthesis, so that you really be satisfied. And I promise I'll give you whatever you want. Let us make a pact. It's like a small child who doesn't want to follow the instructions of the mother or father. For example, the mother feeds some vegetable to the child. The child doesn't want to eat the vegetable. Then what does the mother do? Convert it into something else, do that, do this, make mix and matches, and finally feed the vegetable so that she gets or he gets the nutrition. Mother has mother tricks, child has child's tricks. Now the mind continuously is in a process of tricking it. That is the reason why my Guru Bhagwan Sri Guru CVV has given the mantra to all mankind, trick the trick. This mantra alone can help you understand the trickiness of the mind. Remember, if a situation happens, at the given point of situation, you react in a fashion. Okay? After the situation happens, you go back and reanalyze and understand this isn't the way it has to be. Yes or no? We understand? Now, this intelligence, this same intelligence, why didn't it come today or yesterday? Because we were in the trick. It's like, a chain system or as you get to the steps, you leave the step, then you understand the trickiness of the past step. Mind is always like that. Now, when the girl is studying 9th class, for her 9th class is very tough. The girl and if I ask the same girl, is 8th class tough? She says, no, it's not that very tough, it's easy. Now, 1 year go back into your own mind and check yourself whether you have felt toughness in 8th class or not. Yeah, I did feel it was tough. Now you don't feel it tough? No, because you left it, you don't feel it tough. So, oh mind, you understand, as long as you catch on to it, it is always tough to you. The moment you leave it only, it is easy. So leave the world, it will be easy for you. I think you understand. Your mind is a logical expression. You can't deny that. A continuous ever flow of logic is your mind. Now you need to convince your mind with the same logic. Oh mind, you see, yesterday you caught hold of that, you didn't like, it was tough for you. Now you left it, it is easy. So leave the world, then it is easy for you. So mind, please do this. A continuous prayer to the mind, continuous instruction to the mind, and continuous acting. The good sadhak actually does like this. That is the reason why I say, in India, so many people are in the process of spirituality, so many people meditate, only few, very few, handful become siddhas. The question is, why so much of failure rate and why only so little success rate? Because only those absolutely few people do what is required, and the rest, the people who do what is required are not exactly conveying what is to be done in a ground level. Why they are not conveying? It is not that they are bad people. They are not conveying because if you go to the child and say, this is so simple, will he do that? No. Anything which is absolutely revealed to you, your mind loses interest in it. Then people fear that whether you would continue in it or not. I think you understand. You don't understand? Because a person who is treading on the path of Adhyatmikata, a person who has already, what is the beauty of the Guru is, Guru has sought what you are seeking. Okay? So now he understands what exactly is the requirement for you. Now you are treading on the path, and until otherwise you are not aware of the full niceties of the path, you will always be interested, and inquisitiveness is one dirty quality of the human mind which makes the human mind fall down. But using this same quality, we can tread the Adhyatmic path also. Because out of inquisitiveness, what would have happened after you be a Siddha? That is the reason why the Siddhas of the Sanatana Dharma or the Siddhas of these modern ages also leave people under a question, what happens after a Siddha, and they always give a nice high image to the people of being a Siddha, because that tames the mind like a bone to a dog. For a dog you show a bone, it keeps running. And you keep running, it also keeps running behind you. Same fashion, they give you this. But what happens is, you are now concentrating only on the bone, People, 1 million people concentrating on, as a dog, concentrating only on the bone, finally understand the futility of the bone and 50% drop off. You understand? You don't understand? How 50% drop off? They go to a guru, they understand, oh, this guru is great. They attach with the guru. Now here again, attachment is a worst principle in Adhyatmikata. Now here what am I trying to tell you is, attachment with God, attachment with a guru, attachment with an organization or whatever, attachment itself is dirty. You say this is good attachment because it is attachment with the guru. Attachment, anywhere attachment is bad. Either to a guru or to a human being or to a name. That is the reason why I say, you are stuck with, if your name is Chunky Pandey, Mohan Pandey, Shah Rukh Khan, or if your name is Akshay Kumar, whatever name you have, you are stuck with your name. I am stuck with Atmananda. You are stuck with the name so and so Pillai. I am stuck with the name Atmananda. Both are stuck only. Nobody is actually free. You consider yourself so and so Mohan Pillai or so and so Radha Krishnan, whatever name you have. I am considering myself Atmananda. Then both are stuck or not to a concept. We have a tag on us or not.